Hey, how are you? Matt Fitzsimmons here. Thanks for tuning in. This is the Cafe Doctor Guide to hiring, no more Muppets, basically, to not hiring Muppets. So it's not death by PowerPoint. I've got 8 slides. I think one of them could be out of sync. I'm not sure. But either way, I'll take you through. Won't take long. Going to make you offer at the end. Give you some free questions, some really powerful questions we use at all the cafes that I work with to make sure that to make damn sure we get A players and not Muppets. So I don't have to tell you, as a business owner, just how much it costs for a Muppet in your business, right? Because you can tell me just how much they cost. I totally get it. I really get it. They cost an absolute arm and a leg, these guys, and they promise the world and they deliver absolutely nothing. And when you go home from work at the end of the day and you've had a long, hard, tiring day and you've been up since 5 o'clock, slaving away in a kitchen or a front of house, making sure your customers are happy. And then you get your staff sitting there whinging to you and just carrying on and just causing you nothing but trouble. I know how frustrating that is. And so we just made this quick, it's 5-10 minute video on how to actually avoid that. So let's go. Right. Number 1, hire for fit talent, train for skills and knowledge. Now, this seems obvious, but it's not. Most people hire for the next person that arrives that looks kind of halfway decent, that the gut tells them is actually any good. It's not the right person to hire. It really is not the right person to hire. The right person has a mixture of the right fit, so they fit into your team really well, and they have the right talents. And we'll talk about talents when we come to a few other slides we've got, and one in particular about psychometric profiling, because it's really, really important that you hire someone with raw talent, so then you can train them for skills and knowledge. Because you know what it's like. You can train anybody if they get the right attitude. So right attitude, right talent, they fit in your team, bang, that's what we look for, because we'll train you on the rest. So that's number 1. Hire for fit and talent, train for skills and knowledge. Normally it's the other way around, but in my cafes, the ones that I deal with, the small restaurants that I work with, they always just look for what's that little spark of genius in them that I can then leverage to make my customers' day. So have a think about that. Build a people pipeline. So this is about being proactive, not reactive. So most people, when they get a resignation, they'll sit there and go, oh man, I've got to put an ad in the paper or online or whatever. They've got to put an ad out there and try and find someone. But what the best business owners do is they build themselves a pipeline of winners, of A players, that are beating a path to their door, who actually want to work for them before they need them. So they got a pipeline of people, it's a people pipeline, pretty creative. And they're basically, it's kind of like dating. You're not kind of talking to these people and going, what sort of job are you looking for and how would you want to work it and what's going to work for you and where do you want to go in your life and your career and where's this job going to fit in and that sort of stuff. And they're talking to people before they need them. Because you know what it's like. It's Sunday. You had a massive weekend at the cafe, and even worse. So try this. So it's Friday night, right? And then you get a resignation on Friday at 5 o'clock. So you can do nothing. You can do absolutely nothing about that until Monday morning when somebody comes in maybe, and you can put an ad on TV for you. So, an ad online or whatever. So you can't do anything. So you're going to go all weekend going, oh man, how am I going to place this person? Well, you can build yourself a people pipeline. You don't have to worry about it because what you do is make a phone call to people you've been talking to. And you say, hey, you know that job I was talking about? Yeah, it's come up. You want to join? Go. When do you want to start? It sounds painful. It's not. It's really simple. Make a list of all the jobs you're probably going to have to hire for, then go out and find them. Just go out and find these people and say, I don't have a job for you now, but I want to find out who you are, because when I have a job, I think I want you to come and work for me. Now, you go do that, you don't have problems with recruiting the right people. You know what I mean? Okay, that's a people pipeline. Now, this one's out of sync, but it's out of sync for a reason. So most people use a process that is up here. No, you know what's wrong. Use a process that's here, that's actually written down somewhere that you can train somebody in. Because if you can train somebody in it, that means you've got a business that's scalable, so it doesn't rely on you. It's also repeatable. So you can develop a system that you know works and you've got confidence in. You can train somebody else to do it, and they'll do it for you. And so you get better results, and you don't have to do it yourself. That makes some sense. Now, there's a couple of things to have a think about when you're doing this process, okay? So you have a couple of things. Firstly, you want to have reference checks. And when it comes to reference checks, you tell them who you do reference checks on, right? So rather than, most people sit there and go, oh yeah, I'll give you the name of a couple of people you can call. No, don't do that. You tell them who you're going to call, and they just have to say yes. Otherwise, they're going to give you someone who's going to say, "Oh yeah, Bob, he's really cool. I like Bob. He's fantastic," and they'll actually tell you what you really need to know. So, reference checks, you tell them. You want to have a system, a process that covers a bunch of bases and has a bunch of tools that work and that can be tested, measured, verified. Okay. So one of the tools you can use is psychometric profiling. So you know how some people have like a natural warmth and radiance to them, and they're really, really nice, and they'll come up and they'll sit there and go, "Hey, how are you?" And big grins on their face and that sort of thing. And some people just naturally have that warmth. Well, you can test for that. It's, if you've heard of disc profiling, it's the I part of the disc. I wrote a book on disc profiling and how to incorporate that into your business and how to make it work for you. And my clients in the $1 Million Cafe program get a copy of this book, and then they get shown how to use it. But you can test for genuine warmth. You can. It's not hard, and it's really accurate. If you've got a restaurant, for example, just to use another example, if you've got a restaurant and you want to hire a chef, and let's just say the type of food that you serve is quite finicky, and it's got to look absolutely perfect. Well, the person who's going to be naturally good at doing that has a thing called C in their profile, right? So you've got D, the I, the S, and the C. He's up here. He's got C in his profile. That means he's really, really orientated to getting things absolutely perfect. So you can test for that. So that's what you do. You have that part of your process where you test for that and go, does he have any C's? He's going to have a desire to get stuff right. If he does, cool, you can hire him. Use that as part of the process that you use. Also use, if you need to, obviously, psychometric profiling, use an application form, use a job trial. Job trials are really, really important. We've got a great format for a job trial that we use our $1 Million Cafe clients. That will really push them to the limit on the day they come in, so you know exactly what you're getting when they come in. It's really cool. So do that. And then once you've done that, test, measure, and verify. So everything they say to you, and it's not because you don't believe them, it's just because it's too important when you're hiring people to get it wrong. So just measure, test, call people up, verify what they've done. Put them in situations where what they told you they were going to do in those situations, you actually get an opportunity to see them do it. So test, measure, and verify. Give an example. Last week, right? So I was with a client, been a client for 8-9 months now, and I'm just taking him through the recruiting process. And we've hired a front of house manager who just looks fantastic. I hadn't quite hired them, was in the process. Part of our process is do a Google and Facebook search. So we did a Google search. We found out this guy who was so impressive. Like he was amazing. Was a convicted drug dealer. So we said, thank you, but no. But the only way we would have found that is because as part of the process, we have Google and Facebook search. And we searched, we found out this guy was a drug dealer. Poof, he's gone. Thanks for coming. Not going to have that in our business. So have a process that can test, can be measured, and you can verify what they say. Interestingly, surprisingly, he didn't bring that up in his job interview. We were thinking, amazing. Test, measure, verify. It's super important. Know the difference between A players and Muppets. Chalk, cheese, we understand what makes stuff happen. An A player adds so much more to your business, and it is so worthwhile to go and have a talk to your A players in your business or A players in other businesses and find out what makes them tick. Because when you're recruiting, you need to understand what makes them tick because you want to hire people who are just like them. Equally, look at the Muppets. Look at the idiots in your business and say, yeah, so they're really slack because maybe they're on drugs, maybe they're just slow, maybe they have the right personality profile, maybe they'll be better cast and would fit into another team differently. So find out what works and then go and find that person. Ooh, got another email. Happy day. So do that. It's worth the time. Honestly, it's so worth the time to figure that out. High, slow, fire, quick. You make a mistake? Cool, fix it. Real simple. We call it, I got this phrase, right? And it's called shoot the hostage. And often getting rid of somebody, shooting the hostage, is such a powerful thing to do because it sends a really clear message to every single person that we aren't going to tolerate anybody in our business who doesn't fit in. So hire, slow, fire, quick. If you make a mistake, that's fine. We've all done it. It's not a problem. Just get rid of them. Shoot the hostage. Get rid of that problem really, really quickly and then see what you're going to deal with. Yeah, hire slow, fire quick. Don't make the mistake of hanging on to someone with the hope they're going to get better. If they don't have the right skills as a baseline, they don't have the right talent, and they don't fit in your team, then poof, they're gone. Get rid of them. It's not worth it. You can only train a lack of talent and fit so much, and it probably won't be enough. Cool. So those are the things that we know really make a massive difference when you're hiring people and your ability to avoid hiring Muppets. Now, I'm willing to, what I'm going to do is I'll make you an offer, right? So if you flick me an email at matt@thecafedoctor.com, I'll send you the interview questions that I give to my $1 Million Cafe clients for chef and the front of house. So if you want to find out what some really powerful questions are, then flick me an email. I'll flick them to you. This is a PDF file. You can use them. You can roll them out this afternoon. They're amazingly powerful. They're used all over the world in all the cafes that I deal with. We have some management ones as well, but that's exclusively for the people in the program. But they're really worthwhile having a look at and knowing. And even if some of the questions are the ones that you ask already or the different versions of them, you still find tons of value in it. So flick me an email. I'll send them straight away. Otherwise, you can join us on our Facebook group. That's the Cafe Doctor. Just search for that. Or you can jump on the website and go to thecafedoctor.com and see a cool little video about Tom. So if that's what you want, then go for that. All right. Well, thanks for your time. Appreciate that. I hope you've got something out of it. I hope you got some value. I hope you did. If you did, can you leave a comment, share it with your friends, tell me what other things you'd like to find out about and to learn about, and I'll see what I can do. All right. Take it easy. See you.